Hi, this is geologist Jerry Burgosh, and welcome to the series on how to pick a good play sand for your sandbox. And in the 25 years that I've been analyzing and evaluating sands, one of the things that I have found out that is most important to a child is whether or not it's a good molding sand. Will it make a great sandcastle? Will it stay together? Or will it fall apart and frustrate the child? So what I have here is 5 different sands that we're going to evaluate. Over here we've got the sand from the big box store. Nope, excuse me, this is the sand from the home improvement store. This one's the one from the big box store. This one I bought at an educational store, but it's also available online. And the one on the end here, that one's available only online. So I'm going to show you how we, as a geologist, evaluate whether or not it's a good sand. And okay, now we get to start doing the fun stuff and evaluating if you have a good play sand for your sandbox. Before I actually do the test, I want to show you one important thing, and this is something that you need to do at home. I've added water to the sand. I've made a sand ball. It's just like making a snowball, and if you can make a sand ball and roll it around in your hand without it falling apart, then you've got just the right amount of water to do this test. And even when you're making sandcastles with your kids, make sure that it has this amount of water and you'll make some great sandcastles. So let's go ahead and do it. The way we're going to evaluate it, I've got 3 sandcastles here. I've got the T-Rex head. This is a little mold, but it has a lot of detail. So that'll tell us how well it does pick up on the detail. We've got the medium-sized sandcastle, so we'll see how well it holds up. And then we've got the big sandcastle. Every kid wants to make a big sandcastle, big and tall. And if it's a good sand for molding, it will stay up when we get it out of the mold. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we've got the T-Rex head all packed in there, so let's flip that over. Just gonna tap it to help it come loose. All right, there's our T-Rex head. We got a little bit stuck in the jaw. You can see, okay, so there's the first one. Let's now do the bigger sandcastle. Okay, now I've got the medium sandcastle all packed, so let's flip that over and see how it does. All right, we'll pull that up. Come on. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to get off. Oh, there it goes. Not too bad, actually. That worked out good. All right, let's move on to the big sandcastle. Okay, while you were away, I packed the big mold, which does take a few minutes. This thing is actually quite heavy, so we're going to flip this over as best I can. Okay, let's go ahead and see how this one does. You do have to tap these to make sure this, oh, that released very nicely. Okay, there we go. We got our sand from the big box store, or from the home improvement store. And you can see it came out pretty good. We've got pretty decent detail. We've got the big box store play sand here. We're going to do the sand ball test. Now, this is interesting. I did add a lot of water to this because I was having some difficulty. There we go. We got it now. It's holding up fine. Just like a snowball as I roll it around in my hand. So it's breaking apart a little bit, but ready to do the testing. Okay, so the first part of the, does it make a good sandcastle sand? Packed it into the small mold. Let's go ahead and get that, see how it comes out. And it comes out pretty good. No, it didn't. You can see again down on the jaw, it falls apart. So that wasn't all that great. Let's try the medium-sized sandcastle. Okay, it's starting to release and come off. Well, not too bad, actually. The turret's kind of broke, but that's actually looks really good. All right, now I'm gonna pack the big one. Go ahead and flip this over and see how it does. Ooh, don't like it already. You see how all the sand came out around the bottom? We'd prefer if it stays in there because we don't know how that's gonna affect our sandcastle. All right. So there you have the paved stone sand. Actually, you know, it came out okay. The detail up here is very poor. The detail on the sides, the steps you can kind of see, but that's where we lost some of the sand as we flipped it over. Okay, the next sand we're going to do is the one that I got at the educational store, also available online, and we're going to do the does it make a good sandcastle sand, so we'll do the moldability test next. Okay, we've got the T-Rex head, so we'll go ahead and pack the sand in there. Flip it out of here, give it a tap just to help it release. Come on, I know it can do that. All right, you know, it's stuck in the jaw. You can see right here. So it didn't make quite the complete sandcastle, and it started to break open there. So let's see how the medium-sized sandcastle does. This baby over. Oh, look at that, it's all caked in the top. I don't like that, that's gonna make a mess, but let's just see. Whole point is how well is it gonna release. The tapping actually helps sand release from the sand moles. Okay, it's kind of starting to come. Come on, baby. That's not, okay, there it goes. That was almost a little hard. Not too bad. I mean, the turrets are kind of falling apart, but they're still there. Overall, it's not too bad, but all right, now let's do the big sandcastle. All right. Again, we tap it to help it. Okay, came loose. Oh, okay, don't like the top. All the turrets are almost totally non-existent. Detail on the side, the steps, that all looks pretty good. So, you know, in this one, you know, it's right on the edge between pass and fail. The detail there wasn't good, the way it didn't come out, and the detail here isn't good, but both of the big sandcastles are pretty decent. So it's right on the pass-fail. Okay, we've got the orangey red sand that we got online. First thing we're going to do is put it through the sandball test, just to make sure we've got enough water. That's where we make it like a snowball, roll it around. If it holds together, then you've got the right amount of sand. We're going to try it in these 3 different molds. We've got the small T-Rex for detail. We got the medium-sized sandcastle, and then we've got the big sandcastle, and we'll see how it does in there. And now it's time to make the bowls. Now it's time to have fun with the sand. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is pack it here into the small dino head mold. Let's flip that over. I've got my trusty helper here. This is Daisy. She's a sand hound dog. Okay, let's see. Okay. You can see the lower jaw got a little bit stuck. It came apart when I pulled it off, so that tells us how it does on that. Flip this one over. Watch your head there, doggy. All right. Yeah, Daisy goes on a lot of my geology field trips with me. Her official breed is a black and tan coonhound, right? Yeah, you're a hound dog. All right, here we go. Starting to release. Pull that up. Takes a lot of pulling. Okay, there we go. Actually pretty good. Turret's looking pretty good condition. Yeah, okay, so that was a good test. Now we're gonna do the last of the big ones. This is the big sandcastle. All right. All right, start tapping it. That makes the sand release. Oh, that released nice and fast. Okay, let's see. Okay, didn't fall apart on the base. Got a little bit of breakage here at the turrets, but the stairs and the detail on the sides is beautiful. Details on the stairs are beautiful.